So Onyx recently posted a reminder, and I think it kind of showcases their AI capabilities and maybe where it could lead them moving forward. And also later on in this video, I'm going to talk about the recent slight recovery in the past 24 hours when it comes to Onyx. But I first want to clarify, nothing I say is financial advice. I am not telling anyone to do anything. This is purely my opinion, my perspective, and how I feel about it. But even besides that point, Onyx not too long ago said deploying a contract or a token, they put a question mark behind that, and they pointed to the AI agent version 2 beneath. Why is that a big deal when it comes to Onyx? Well, it's because when it comes to, let's say, launching a token or deploying a contract or whatever, people oftentimes find it very complicated. They think it's kind of annoying. But of course, there's many other places to kind of do that type of stuff. But Onyx, through its Onyx AI Agent version 2, I think it also showcases that, sure, other places have things to allow for that, but it's like, hey, you know what? We have it too. It's sometimes kind of that mindset, right? When it comes to Onyx, in which case it does showcase that the team isn't lazy. Launching the mainnet of Goliath, which is a layer 1 blockchain this year, that was really impressive. Launching the testnet last year, a lot of people thought that, oh, they're not going to launch the mainnet ever, but they actually did it this year, which exactly was according to what they said last year. They said they were going to announce it somewhat kind of earlier on this year in 2026, and they actually did do that. Not to mention Onyx AI Agent version 2. And then we also take a look at the wallet when it comes to Onyx. Some people like to make fun of that, but they're still kind of doing things when it comes to that as well. And I even made a more detailed video when it comes to that. So when it comes to Onyx, again, I think the Onyx AI Agent version 2, it does showcase its AI capabilities. And I think it could very well help moving forward, because what do we do know? We typically know that when the market usually improves a lot better and a lot of developers start entering, some of them, they're focused on creating new things. In which case, Onyx AI Agent version 2, it's waiting right there. People don't typically want to, think about new tokens or deploying contracts or whatever when the market isn't doing the best. They usually think about that when the market is doing good. So if, let's say, the Onyx AI Agent version 2 is just kind of waiting right there the entire time anyways, it provides this place where, who knows, some developers out there could maybe choose. It doesn't mean they will, but at least, there's that option, I suppose. So when I take a look at Onyx, I think it's a genius thing, actually, caring about this type of stuff right now. And the reminder that they posted, I think, indicates their sort of forward-thinking mindset. It doesn't mean that it's going to have the best of the best adoption. Probably not, but it doesn't matter. It's kind of the thought that counts. And usually, if the market were to pick up, the narrative, the vibe, the kind of story of a project is oftentimes more important than the current adoption. If adoption was such a major factor, like let's say people focus so much on that when it comes to this space, many projects in the top 100 really wouldn't be there if good adoption was the main criteria. Simply put, a lot of projects in the top 100, 200, and 300, they don't have good adoption, actually. It's just their story, their narrative is oftentimes viewed as to be good, right? So when people like to say Onyx doesn't have good adoption, it can't do anything. Well, if that's the case, then why are many projects in the top 100 still there? That's the thing. Like, let's take a look at, for instance, like Luna. Sometimes the story, the narrative, it just matters a lot more. I am not saying Onyx has the best of the best narrative. I'm not saying that. But at least if we take a look at Onyx, it's not in such a space that is hyper competitive. What do I mean by that? If we take a look at this space that Onyx is focused on, global trade and finance, there simply isn't the quantity to make it so that it's hyper competitive, because historically Ripple and Stellar, it's number 1 and number 2. We take a look at Canton, a lot of people are thinking about that as of right now. We take a look at XDC, Sebek, Onyx, XPR, Swiftcoin. Like, that's not more than 10 that a lot of people can recognize. As a matter of fact, a lot of my friends out there, if I ask them about the global trade and finance space, they're only thinking about Ripple and Stellar. That's pretty much about it. There has really never been this moment in time when the alternatives beyond that really got their time to truly shine. We've seen hints of it, like last year, for instance, and also historically, we've seen hints of it through XDC, but we haven't seen this massive kind of narrative change. It's like, for instance, people for quite a while only thought about Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Then suddenly we saw this wave of, a bunch of layer one blockchains just appearing, like Solana, for instance, like Avalanche, like Algorand and whatnot, right? And so on. We haven't seen that type of emergence for the alternatives when it comes to the global trade and finance space yet, maybe. But if that narrative were to come, Onyx, it's right there waiting. It doesn't mean it will necessarily catch the wave, but there just simply isn't that many options to begin with. So if the alternatives beyond Ripple and Stellar really were to become this massive deal, let's say it became really like this major talking point during a market reversal or during a market recovery, for the ones that are focusing on that particular niche, there just simply isn't that many options to begin with. In which case, if there's less options but a lot of attention, the attention that is received is more concentrated upon the ones that are actually waiting right there. It's like, for instance, if let's say I walk inside a shoe store, there's like 20 shoes, that's a lot of options, right? But if I'm just one person, it's going to be very spread out. But if let's say it was a limited edition shoe collection and there was only 5 options, and let's say there's 20,000 people there, it almost doesn't even really matter which option is sometimes better than the other. Sometimes people are like, whoa, it's part of the limited edition collection. There's so much attention, yet so few options, they're just going to acquire it anyways. It's like, for instance, take a look at the AP and Swatch collaboration. I mean, it's a pocket watch. I mean, sure, people are making straps for it and stuff like that, but I'm saying still, it's a pocket watch. I still think it's cool though, but there's only like 8 options from what I can see. And the thing is, it's not like there's 20 or 30 options. So if no one really likes kind of the designs or whatever when it comes to that, there's kind of no other choice. And I think that's a clear case of, you know what? If there's a lot of attention and a lot of hype for a certain niche, and yet there isn't that many options, sometimes they don't really care. They're just like, oh yeah, we're going to believe in that. That's kind of it sometimes. Take a look at the AP and Swatch collaboration. When I take a look at it, Onyx, as of right now, ranked 150th within this space in terms of market cap. Not so bad, but not the best either. The market cap is still below 200 million though. Still almost 190 million. But one thing I did notice is that the volume in the past 24 hours, almost a 34% sort of increase in the volume. Kind of impressive, actually, when I take a look at that. Now, the volume in the past 24 hours is still less than 10 million, but still kind of a little bit cool, I suppose. Onyx has been down for quite a while, so seeing some, I guess, action, even though it's very minuscule, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about that. But of course, Onyx, even as of right now, still over 5 times lower than its peak last year. A little bit ridiculous, but also a little bit kind of not so bad for me either, which sounds very counterintuitive. However, the way I take a look at it is that if I'm acquiring real estate, I want it to be low, because what happens if that property appreciates, I go along with the ride. So for like accumulation purposes, for dollar cost averaging, I like it if it's low. So a price dip, it doesn't necessarily concern me. I like dips, you know, whether it's within this space or whether it's for ranch dressing, I like dips either way. I like dips when it comes to this space. I like dips when it comes to my French fries. So when it comes to this space, I view it no different. I like dips either way. But I'm still only dollar cost averaging once a month. That's it. I don't want to do any more though, but that's all I do, just once a month. And I wait and see what happens beyond that. But I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.